My favorite segment of the night, by far to me, the crowd was the loudest, was in at this segment, the loudest for Hangman Page, the loudest chants, cowboy shit. The way I gathered it, being there live would be different.
The crowd was
clearly they are behind Adam Page, and it's a consistent trend. I think the steam is only getting more and more and more behind Adam Page, man. And this was a great fired up Hangman. Talk about fired up. And then of course Don interrupted, which was actually pure gold. And this whole thing that came out of it, that we got essentially a 5-on-5, you win, you get title shots, you lose, you don't get any title shots. And now Hangman threw in the tag title one. As soon as he threw that in too, because he's sticking up for his buddies,
his friends.
I was like, right. Yes, adding more stipulation to that.
I love it.
And for Matt to get in his face too. I don't know how fast they grow those beards back, man. That was quick for them. But this was my top segment of the night, easily.
Love to hear it.
A lot of great stuff coming on the heel side, saying that you're not the guy, you're just going to be another great wrestling tragedy and things like that. So they're really digging deep at Hangman, and the Dark Order coming out, and now the Dark Order to kind of get some shine and potentially a title shot. I think this is just, I was like beaming for this, because they came out last week, but just like the brotherhood bond that they got behind Adam Page and him showing the respect to them, and finally like a group that will contend against the Elite. So it almost seems like my dream team dethroning the Elite is over, because I think that whole Eddie Kingston Penta thing is all over. I think that's done. Sadly, that had a good run, but it was kind of starting to go nowhere.
We're starting to see it pivot too, with the Death Triangle now getting involved with Andrade.
We'll see what goes with that.
We'll talk about that. Can't wait. I wore this show specifically. I have like 40 of these 40 AEW shirts in my closet right now. My wife has to be like going nuts, but I felt like this was an AEW show. I just wanted to represent
this company. I was thinking that too. So proud of it. A proud night. That's why I did it.
A night to be proud of this company. I thought that this was an incredible show from top to bottom. And it's awesome to hear you talk about this feud, man, because I know anybody who watches and listens week in, week out knows SPD is all in on the Pinnacle versus Inner Circle feud. But this is an example, man. There are so many other feuds going on in AEW. I talked about it with the main event tonight. We'll get into it later on in the show.
Right.
But there are so many other feuds in this company right now that are just clicking, that are just hitting hard. Stories that have us invested.
For sure.
We just finished talking about Cody versus Malachi Black. That's one that we know is going to be one that's going to get us chomping at the bit. But dude, this is one, we all kind of knew, okay, how is the story of Hangman versus Adam versus Kenny Omega going to happen, right? How is that going to play out? But what happened tonight was better than I think any of us could have hoped for. I thought the way that whole thing played out, the very real, pointed commentary from Matt Jackson and the rest of the Elite coming at Hangman Page. They pulled no punches.
Did they ever? Yeah.
But that's another great part of this story. Again, is the Elite, all the top guys in the whole world, the guys with the belts, the guys who have run the business and all this stuff, against the lowly Dark Order, this group that was formed from a bunch of rejects that came together, that were tired of losing and kind of rallied around each other, and through their bond and through their friendship have become the home team of AEW. It's a really great parallel of where you get to see this dichotomy, right? You get to see the Elite, these guys who have traveled all over the world and who are universally recognized as the best, versus these guys who are really the scrappy underdogs. It's the perfect summer movie where you see the scrappy underdog baseball team has to win the World Series, that type of, and that's how this feels. Is now with all these extra stipulations added. That match, that 5-on-5 elimination match that was announced, it's going to be absolutely epic. You get to see Hangman Adam Page and the Dark Order go against Kenny Omega and the Elite with a title shot on the line for the world title and the tag titles. I mean, that is going to just be absolutely epic, man. Great stuff. I think there's a lot of people out there who are wondering, how long do you stretch out this Hangman versus Kenny Omega
all out,
feud.
baby.
I feel like this was a great way that AEW did that. Right now, you have another road, you have another stop along the journey before you get to that Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page one-on-one world title match. Now this becomes that stop, and then you get the one-on-one build. Once Hangman wins this match, once they win this 5-on-5, then you get to build up to that match at All Out. I love it. I love where they're going with this, man.
And they could even throw in, like you're saying in the chat, throw in something to do with BTE. So I know Young Bucks kicked off Dark Order and BTE, so maybe they can win back the, being in control of BTE, because Dark Order is always gold on that. Obviously, my favorite segment always. Or, if down the line we actually do see Dark Order get gold, the Young Bucks not only lose BTE, they lose their belts, and
that's
then
a
they're just in the biggest
point.
belts.
That's a great point.
For those everything.
For those of you who are following in BTE, you're right, SPD. That's a great point. They've been really, the Bucks have really been emphasizing, man, isn't it so much better without Dark Order? That's a really smart point that you made, and another feather in the cap for AEW for allowing their universe to all bleed together, for allowing all their content to intertwine. That's a good call.
Absolutely. That would be a lot of fun if they kept stretching this out. And then we see the ultimate payoff, like we talked about, Hangman getting gold at All Out, and riding off into the sunset, ending the pay-per-view on a horse.
I love that.
So
that's a great idea.
Or he rides to the ring in a horse, and then he leaves to the ring in a horse. They bring one out and he rides out holding gold over his head.
Love it.
That would be great.
Great
idea. So this was